Alright lads, so let's talk about the upcoming 10th anniversary. What can only be one of the biggest milestones in any gacha game, especially for Bleach Brave Souls, is going to arrive in almost a month's time. And for today's video, we're going to be breaking down all the stuff that you should expect during the anniversary, in terms of how the banner system is going to work, how many orbs should you have and can you get before the anniversary does begin, what's coming up leading to the anniversary, and in a way, how to best prepare for one of the biggest celebrations that we are going to see this year. So first up, let's talk about important dates. Keep in mind, especially with how they did the anniversary last year, some things could be a few days earlier, a few days later, but we're just going to state general dates, which have been consistent throughout the last 10 years on Brave Souls. Our first big date, and we've been talking about this a lot, is June 15th, which in a way is going to kickstart the anniversary, but not officially. This upcoming livestream is likely going to introduce a pre-anniversary banner, is what I like to call it. Last year, for example, around the same date, we did get a 9th anniversary renewed Mugetsu Ichigo. This banner was special for a big reason because it was guaranteed Mugetsu Ichigo in just 10 steps. It's our hope going into this livestream, along with the new character announcements, that we will get a very similar banner that guarantees the character in 10 steps. Even if that doesn't happen, what we do know is that we are going to get a big pre-anniversary banner featuring potential 2 exciting characters. So even though the anniversary is going to happen July 23rd, maybe a few days earlier, again, it depends if they want to start it earlier, but in terms of new exciting characters, we are going to get something big on June 15th. So if you are currently playing right now, it's definitely advised to start building up your orbs, and of course save for the actual anniversary, but also keep in mind this upcoming banner that will be getting announced and released on the 15th of June. Now, the next big date to know is June 23rd, a whole month before the actual anniversary. What Caleb liked to do, and they've been doing this since the 3rd anniversary, is release a trailer hinting at who the anniversary characters will be. It's always a fun time because it does allow us, the community, to guess the upcoming anniversary characters in a Guess Who campaign. Now, more often than not, this does drop June 23rd, but based off of last year, we did get it on the 20th, so it could be a few days earlier. It could, for all we know, even get shown in the upcoming 10th anniversary news livestream. Right now, though, as the 10th anniversary is a big celebration, it's a big anniversary. The big question going into this anniversary is whether part 1 will be original design characters like 7th anniversary Ichigo, 6th anniversary Aizen, or is it going to be canon characters like a potential Bankai Shunsui? And I guess the thing to look out for in this upcoming trailer that we are going to get potentially next week is the context of the trailer. The last 2 years, using the 9th anniversary as an example, it's very clear at what it's hinting at. So this trailer here had the red skies. It was clearly showing a battle in Core 2, 1000 Year Blood War. So with that in mind, if we get a trailer showing black skies in the Varvel, hinting at any fight from Core 3, what you can expect is that 10th anniversary will be canon characters, at least for part 2. However, if the trailer is more like the 7th anniversary, where it's a bit more abstract, and it's not really hinting at a particular fight during a season of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War, then likely it's going to be on the original side. So if we do see something like this, for example, especially if it comes through with text like giving a theme, 7th anniversary's theme was Resounding Prides, then that will likely confirm that the anniversary is going to be original units. At the same time, you never know, so do keep that in mind, because the 5th anniversary trailer that we did get was clearly hinting at a battle between Byakuya and also Ichigo when they slashed each other during their fight in Soul Society. However, this banner ended up being original characters. So, to be fair, you never know. We could get a trailer on the 23rd that is hinting at, for some reason, a canon battle, and it could still end up being original design characters. However, I feel like if we're clearly getting Blood War motives here and Blood War hints, it's going to therefore be a Blood War banner. And to be fair, depending on what this anniversary prelude banner is going to be on the 15th, it might even hint and give us more clues on how the upcoming 10th anniversary characters will be, because likely whoever's going to be in this banner isn't going to be in the anniversary. While the banner itself could drop July 23rd for part 1 of the anniversary, the characters themselves will be revealed a few days earlier, depending on when the banner is going to start. In this case, because 9th anniversary started July 19th, the banner happened a few days earlier on the 14th. But I would like to say around 5 days before the 10th anniversary does begin, we are going to get quite the big live stream. Again, we're getting a live stream on the 15th of June. That's going to be small in nature, not to really reveal too many stuff, just the new characters for the mid-month banner, maybe some extra news, but the big news comes on the Bankai Lives, especially the 10th anniversary one. So any plans post 10th anniversary, maybe collaborations with Burn the Witch, new updates, quality of life, showcasing the big 10th anniversary characters will be seen on the 10th anniversary Bankai Live, which might happen around the 14th to around the 19th. It'll get announced in advance, but like I said, there's going to be a big Guess Who campaign on who the upcoming 10th anniversary characters will be, and they're all going to get shown in that live stream. But now let's talk about the anniversary banners themselves. Over time, they've gotten better, especially as we did see during the 9th and 8th. Before, they used to be a very ridiculously bad step-up summons. Now it's going to be quite the normal banner where you're guaranteed the character in 25 steps. But the main thing to keep in mind during the anniversary is that there are two big banners. Technically, if you count the anniversary celebration summons, the countdown, prelude, whatever you want to call it, in June, there technically is 3 banners. But part 1, if we use 9th anniversary for example, did release June 19th, so again, it shows us that the anniversary can start a few days earlier, but more often than not, it does happen on the 23rd. This upcoming anniversary banner will likely also feature 2 units, and these units always end up being some of the best characters in the entire game. Not every year do they remain super relevant throughout the entire year, but 9th anniversary showed us that they do like to kick up the power creep, and these characters are here to stay for a very long time. Even though Kenpachi and Gremmy was quite a divisive anniversary in terms of the character choicing, the characters themselves did live up to expectation from an animation standpoint, and also how good they actually are. Because at least for my tier list, for those that are wondering, right, almost a year later, Gremmy and Kenpachi are still some of the best characters in their attribute, and Gremmy in particular is still fighting as one of the best characters in the entire game. Now, it's also worth noting that Part 1's characters, even if they end up being 1000-year Bloodwood units, are actually premium characters, and what this does mean is that they are not limited. You can get them from summon tickets, that's the biggest thing. So if you are someone that is saving up summon tickets for the anniversary, we'll talk about that more later in the video, there's a chance you could end up getting these characters for free, similar to what I did for the last 3 years since the 6th anniversary. The main thing to note with the FreetoPlay, the one guarantee that we can say, is that 9th anniversary Kenny and 9th anniversary Gremmy will be seen in the 10th anniversary banner. So if you are missing these characters, if you do want duplicates of those characters, that will be your next best chance to get them alongside the 2 anniversary characters, the 10th anniversary units. As for the other characters, it's usually full of premium and seasonal characters released within the last year, which does mean the banner itself can be hit or miss, but the main thing is that you are summoning for the 10th banner units alongside the previous anniversary units. And hopefully alongside that, some other good valued characters. Overall, to go to the guaranteed step 25, where you're guaranteed either Kenpachi or Gremmy, or in this case, whoever the 10th anniversary characters are going to be, it would take you 5,500 orbs. So usually for me, in worst case scenario, I always recommend having that many orbs for your potential favorite character. Of course, with that in mind, you might not need to do 5,500 orbs, you can get them earlier, but you never know, we're just going off based on worst luck possible. Using this simulator as an example, it only took me 15 steps to get both Kenpachi and also Gremmy. So you don't always need 5,500 orbs for the banner, but it's a good number to have in case you do get unlucky. With that in mind though, this is going to be part 1 of the anniversary. These usually consist of the better characters, the ones that age better, but they're also the premium units. And you never know what this part 1 is going to be, whether it's Blood War or original units. But the thing that we can guarantee a week later for the end of the month, that's when we get part 2. Now, in a way, part 2 is going to be also a special banner, assuming part 1 is original this year because it is quite the big anniversary, 10 years, right? Part 2 is pretty much guaranteed to be 1000-year Blood War. And with that in mind, it is also going to be the start of Season 3 of Blood War characters. So any big named fight or character that happens in Core 3 of 1000-year Blood War is very likely to show up in this banner. This banner is going to feature likely 3 characters, 2 very powerful units, using last year as an example Tosha and Soifon, and then the third character will likely be a PvP/Brave Battle unit. That's pretty much been the norm, right? Now, 1000-year Blood War banners have gotten better over the last 7 or so months. As we've gotten so many Blood War banners, a lot of really good and somewhat recent characters now appear as fillers. So you never know what the filler pool is going to be, but going into the 10th anniversary part 2, I'm actually expecting this banner to have better fillers than part 1 because there's overall more characters they can put in here. You know, last year, for example, it didn't have the greatest set of fillers, but technically 1000 Year Blood War anime characters were still somewhat new. Nowadays, though, we have characters that released 6 months ago becoming fillers. So I'm expecting all 12 characters to be Blood War characters released within the last year, which in my opinion is going to add value to this banner, especially because, again, these upcoming Part 2 units are going to be limited. They're going to be strictly Blood War characters. So that means you can't get them from free summons, you can't get them from summon tickets, and technically they're going to be rarer. Once more, it'll be another 5,500 orbs to go to step 25. So in a way, worst case scenario, if you want to have the guaranteed bet to get what you want, 11,000 orbs is needed for the anniversary, which is quite a lot, but not everyone's going to need to spend that much. The one guarantee I would like to say, similar to part 1 of the anniversary, is that Toshiro, Sajin, and also Soifon will be fillers during part 2 of the anniversary. Again, alongside maybe even newer characters, or more so characters that released after these units, because they can now become fillers too. The general decision whether you want to pull for part 1 or 2 really comes down to which character you like the most. Part 1 is usually the better characters, but the more available characters in a way, because they're premium, you can get them from summon tickets, whereas part 2 is likely going to have the better banner and the more limited characters. In a perfect world, you don't want to choose between the two banners, you honestly want to pull for both of them. And in my case, once more, using the simulator as an example, we only had to spend 2,300 orbs here to actually get all 3 characters, and multiple dupes of them too. In this case, I probably got lucky, right? RNG is always at play, but essentially I've only spent like close to 6,000 orbs, and I'm done with both of the banners. So you don't always need to have, again, super high orb count, you just gotta get lucky, but to avoid being unlucky, I do recommend having 11,000 orbs. And for new banners, that's pretty much the 2 big anniversaries. There's the Prelude, there's the part 1, and then there's the part 2. In a way, and I personally don't count it, there can be considered a part 3 and 4. You know, some people, for example, consider Tenjiro and Uetsu part 3 or part 4 of the 9th anniversary. That's just August end of month. It's a guaranteed banner that happens every year. And every end of the month at this point is pretty much 1000 Year Blood War or some form of that. So you know, post 10th anniversary, we're going to get more exciting characters, especially with the idea that Core 3 is starting in Brave Souls. We're going to get a lot of big characters throughout the end of the year, or post 10th anniversary. It's not going to slow down by any means. But in terms of anniversary stuff, it's pretty much just part 1 and part 2. July 23rd, July 31st. We might get another Blood War mid-month banner for August 19th, and they might have anniversary in the name, but it doesn't really mean much. It's just a normal banner that could also potentially feature some cool characters, but I wouldn't really consider that part of the anniversary. So with that in mind, how can you best prepare? Well, I'm kind of making this video on the later side. I probably should have made this maybe even 2 months ago, because it kind of is important. One of the best ways to prepare is by farming the point event. Now, I'm not saying you have to spend thousands of orbs on soul tickets to farm the point event, but if you do ever come in a situation over the next month where you have +8 bonuses, I recommend spending every single soul ticket, maybe even a small amount of orbs if you really want to rush it, on the point event to collect summon tickets. Like I mentioned, part 1 of the anniversary characters are premium units. You can get them from summon tickets. So I and many others throughout the last 9 or so years of Brave Souls always says premium tickets ahead of time with the idea to potentially get them for free. Now, of course, you do have to get lucky to get them from summon tickets. Even with 10,000 summon tickets, you aren't guaranteed to get an anniversary character, but it can happen, and the more you have, the better, and the best way to get summon tickets is by farming the point event. Even if you don't have 8 bonuses, it's still worth farming right now regardless, because in general, it's just the best way to collect summon tickets. So if you haven't already done that, any summon ticket you get now, whether it's a 5-star summon ticket, a 6-star summon ticket, or a Brave Souls golden ticket, for example, save them, because you never know, you could potentially walk away with an anniversary character for free. Just using me as an example, right? I have 17 6-star summon tickets. I have 10 summon medal summon tickets. I have 5-star tickets, almost 500 4 to 5-star summon tickets, and just above 4,000 Brave Soul summon tickets. My goal is to get 5,000 for the July 25. Even some exclusive summon tickets that you get from the cons passports, right? I've also been saving these daily since the 9th anniversary, so I should be able to get around 350 for the 10th anniversary, right? So that's essentially almost another 600 tickets for me, and I'm also saving the 5-star tickets. Again, something like this is best planned in advance, months before the anniversary, because the more you can get, the better, especially if you aren't spending soul tickets and orbs to rush through that point event farming. And again, it's important to mention, even though I said it a few times, you're never guaranteed anything through summon tickets. But this year, more so, we actually have quite a good set of characters that you can get from summon tickets, better than ever before, in my opinion. So the chance of getting something decent, I think, is going to be higher than before, because what we have here, right, is April mid-month are premium. It's Okura and Ichigo, two very cool, exciting, and powerful units. They are summonable through summon tickets. This upcoming mid-month that will get revealed and released on the 15th are likely going to be two more premium units. It's going to be exciting characters, I would say on the same level of Ichigo and Okura. So that's 4 potential new characters that you can pull if you haven't gotten these characters. And then again, Anniversary Part 1 is going to bring 2 more premium characters. So there's 6 really good, in a way, Anniversary level in terms of excitement characters that you can get from summon tickets this year. And even if you have them, a duplicate of them is always going to be welcome. So I would say this year might be the best year to save tickets because of how many really good characters that are premium tier that are coming out right before the anniversary. So even if you don't get the actual anniversary units, you could potentially get something still pretty good. And then lastly, we have the free-to-play orb guide. So right now, we're essentially a month away from the upcoming anniversary. So if you start playing now, you're going to have plenty of free orbs to gather up. But in terms of just monthly stuff that is coming our way, this is around the number you can expect to get, depending on what you can do. Not everything here is going to be possible for every player. But if you haven't already seen this video, my updated free-to-play orb guides, these are all basically the possible orbs that you can get in a given month. There are a lot of conditions though. Do you own the resurrectable characters? Do we get 2 resurrection batches in a month? For guild quests, can you be all 4 extra levels? Are you in a high-ranking guild? Even if you aren't, are you in an A-League guild? All that stuff determines how many orbs you get from that particular game modes. So not everyone's going to be getting close to 3,000 orbs, or you can maybe get like 2,000 orbs around that before the anniversary if you haven't already started saving. So from this list of tasks that you can do in Brave Souls monthly, keep in mind what you can and can't do and consider that during the anniversary or leading up to the anniversary. I like to say set yourself orb goals in this game, and that also goes when it comes to summoning on banners. Set yourself a limit. You don't always have to go down to 0, especially when it comes to limited banners, because characters return quite often in this game. There's always more chance to get them in the future. Shinji, Ririka, Momo came out early this year. They're already back. And the filler pool itself features characters that came out, 6 months ago, namely Loto and also Retsu. So any limited character you do miss, you can always just get them later on, because characters return quite often. And maybe that's something to keep in mind for the upcoming swimsuit banner that we will get for end of month June. This banner, for example, June end of month, will feature new swimsuit characters. And this is pretty much the last new banner that we are going to get before the actual anniversary. So if you do skip out on this banner because you want to save orbs for the anniversary, wherever it's featured in this banner, would likely return often. I skipped this banner. I did like 5 steps to be fair. And I already gotten a Max Transcendent Candice and also Bambietta duped out because they just return a lot over time. But if you do summon on this upcoming mid-month banner, or the upcoming swimsuit banner, it will in a way make last minute farming for summon tickets a lot more easier because both banners will be featured as bonuses for the next 2-point event leading up until the anniversary. So this event is leaving in 4 days time. When this starts, we get the mid-month banner, and if you summon those 2 characters, whoever they might potentially be, there will be bonuses for the upcoming end of month point event that will last all the way until July 23rd. So my goal again is to at least spend 2,000 orbs in the month of June. And again, I could afford that, right? Because I have close to 9k. So I'll be doing likely 10 steps on the upcoming mid-month. And if I get both bonus characters there, I don't even need to summon on the end of month swimsuit banner with the idea in mind to get bonuses. And I can just freely spend any orbs or soul tickets on that point event, the next point event, to do that last minute farming for summon tickets before the 10th anniversary. So with that said, that's basically the breakdown for the upcoming anniversary in terms of how to prepare for it. More so going over the upcoming banners and how the banner format is going to be working during the anniversary. Again, we don't have too long to go. The anniversary is basically here in a month and a half. But even though it's not that far away, there's still a lot of exciting stuff coming away within the next week even. So if you want to stay up to date with all the news regarding Brave Souls, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.